Test, test, test. Oh my god. We are so back. We are so back to our live streams. I know, I was muted, not anymore. It's working again. How everyone is feeling today. It feels so good to be back. Like, so good to be back to our live streams. It really feels awesome. Oh my god, it's been so much. How everyone is feeling today. Ducatan, thank you so much for the subscription. In Ruliot Fixer, thank you so much for 3 months in a row already. Thank you so much. You awesome, dude. Thank you, thank you. Varkov, thank you so much as well for subscribing to Tier 1. I really appreciate your support. And by the way, I'm so happy to be back. You guys have no idea. Like, literally no idea how happy I am. Like, you know, obviously I have been in Laracon US. By the way, how the music is the music okay? You guys let me know if the music is okay. Is the music fine? Let me know, all right? Let me know. It's fine. All right, perfect. I was just saying, feels super good to be back. As you guys may well seen, I was pretty much involved in Laracon EU. You know, I was in Laracon EU, also preparing Laracon EU with the team, and it was so much work, like so much work. And I have to apologize to you guys. I know. Like, I literally bought all this equipment to kind of try to do live streamings when I was there, and nothing happened. Like, literally nothing happened. Zero live streams from Laracon EU, and it's my fault. It's way more difficult than I thought. I must say that to you, all right? But before we start, let's say, you know, just hi to everyone. Journey, welcome to the live stream. Mora, welcome to the live stream as well. Nice to see you, by the way. Kamo, welcome to the live stream. Nice to see you. Ducatan, how you doing, dude? Nice to see you. Matroy, it's been a minute. I agree with you. It's been a while. Feels good to be back. Lucas, how you doing, dude? Nice to see you again. It was a pleasure to be with you at Laracon Inia. Constantine, nice to see you as well. Oh my god, it feels good to see you again. Ben as well. Patrick, how everyone is feeling today. Code Sorcier, thank you so much. Welcome back as well. Nice to see you. What's up, Dripping Castle? Nice to see you. Adrian, it was nice to be with you at Laracon EU, man. Oh my god, I actually find a lot of people that are literally, you know, coming to the live streams, also coming to... We're also in Laracon EU, so that was fun. That was fun. So, yeah, I have to apologize. I know, you know, during those 2 weeks, I have pretty much done zero content, like literally zero content. And it's just way more difficult than I thought. Literally just taking out my phone and start recording is just way more difficult than I thought, okay? So because of that, I didn't actually produce any content when I was in Amsterdam, so I apologize about that, okay? However, we do have amazing content set up for the next few days. Starting today. Today I want to share with you a bunch of stuff that have happened on the behind the scenes of the Laracon EU conference, you know? Like, how was my conference? How was the days leading up to the conference regarding the preparation of Laravel Cloud demo, but also like, how was the Laravel Cloud demo itself? How was Laracon EU? So we have so much to talk about, you know? So much to talk about. Thank you, Pick and Flow. So nice to see you again, man. How you doing? All right. Before we do that, I do have amazing news for you all, okay? Let's go here into Safari. I do have a couple of news to you all. One of them is I have created a Portuguese channel, okay? I don't know if any of you is actually Portuguese, but I do have now a Portuguese channel, and I have my first video in Portuguese, just in case you like to hear some Portuguese sometimes, you know what I mean? Just in case. So I have that. What else do I have? Oh, I have amazing news as well regarding Laracon US. So I'm actually speaking at Laracon US. Okay, here we go. Here is Nuno right there. Are you guys going to Laracon US? Do you guys have any plans on that already? Drippin Castle is asking if I have been with Simon H. Is the guy from who is doing like native PHP development with iOS, right? If yes, I've been with him. He looks awesome, by the way. Leo is saying Brazil thanks you. Well, I really appreciate that. I hope you guys appreciate, my Portuguese content. That's cool. So yeah, I will be in Laracon US speaking about past PHP, but I'll be also in Laracon India. Okay, Laracon India, which is in 1 month. And I will be there as well with my very good friend Lucas and Freak and Bert as well, and Josh, with my cloud brother Justin. I think that will be fun. Oh, thank you, Kat. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Oh, Roberto will be in Laracon US. All right, that will be fun for sure. All right, so Laracon US, Laracon India coming from me, but today I want to talk about Laracon EU and everything that have happened in Laracon EU. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I was literally 4 days in advance in Laracon EU, so 4 days in advance. And I don't know how much public or how much, people talked about that, but literally I was with the Laravel team for 4 days working our ass off, literally, to prepare the best demo possible for Laracon EU, okay? So we wanted to kind of get a lot of things done, and we felt that we actually needed this hackathon, or this place where we can be physical together, you know what I mean? Like, you can say whatever you want regarding remote work, but nothing replaces in-person productivity when you are a developer. Okay, at least I felt that during these 4 days we spent together, we got so much stuff done, and that was absolutely awesome, by the way. Okay, so we worked on obviously Laravel Cloud, and we managed to do things with so much higher levels of productivity just because we were all together, and obviously because we were together next to each other, the design team, but also, the infrastructure team, like all these people together, the iteration or the feedback loop was just way faster than it usually is. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, PHP lets me travel the world. That's awesome, by the way. That's pretty cool. I agree. Yeah, I'll be flying a little bit. It's awesome, it feels good, kind of a dream come true, to be honest. Like, just to be able to traveling while just being, being able to speak in these conferences really feels good. But yeah, during these 4 days, we got a lot of stuff together done, which was pretty cool. And we obviously had Taylor's demo on Monday for Laracon EU. And I want to kind of see that conference together with you all today. And I want to also collect your thoughts about Laravel Cloud. Like, what do you guys think about Laravel Cloud? Potentially answering some questions regarding the development of Laravel Cloud, some of the technology we are using. So today live stream will be a little bit of a Q&A combined with, just me watching this for the first time. Because something I have to tell you is that I was actually on the behind the scene. I was like on the backstage, literally, with my laptop open together with the team. And I didn't get the chance of actually seeing Taylor. So this will be kind of, the first time I'm going to see this, because I was on the backstage and the only thing I could see was Taylor's screen. So I couldn't record his reactions or even the reactions of the crowd itself. So today we are watching this together, kind of see what you guys think about this, but also what do I personally think about the demo, okay? All right, so let's place ourselves into the beginning of the talk, and let's just walk, check this together, okay? There we go. All right. First things first, how the sound is. Let's make sure the sound is okay, okay?
USA is currently being powered by Coke Zero. The man.
You guys have no idea how many Coke Zero Taylor Otwell actually drinks. This is actually mind-blowing, okay? So we were like, imagine like 8 people working together, and literally Taylor was like drinking Coke Zero like like just like I drink coffee basically. And because he was drinking Coke Zero, everyone just started drinking Coke Zero, and suddenly we had like, you know, a bunch of Coke Zeros all over the place. That was pretty cool to see. Hey, Sundars. Oh, you met me at Laracon? Oh, that's cool, man. That's pretty cool. Yes, the CDN in Laravel Cloud is using Cloudflare. Yes. It's actually, I think it's visible from the UI.
The myth and the
Get rocking and rolling. I don't think I've ever been so nervous for a
USA.
That smoke right there is badass. Like literally looks like a cloud a little bit.
How's everybody doing? Let me get situated here and we'll get rocking and rolling. I don't think I've ever been so nervous for a talk before.
All right, here's a little behind the scenes that got me surprised so much. So when I prepare a talk myself, you know, when I'm about to give a talk in the conference, typically what I do is that I rehearse the thing 1,000 times, like literally 1,000 times. I just grab my laptop and I just pretend I'm on stage and I just talk, rehearse, like literally 4,000 times. Taylor doesn't rehearse the talk one single time. He's literally like on his laptop and he's like giving the talk to himself on his own mind, but without actually speaking. That surprised me so much, you know what I mean? That was crazy to see. So Tua is asking, I watched the demo. One question that I come into my mind was how to import the big existing MySQL database. I think you will be able to use existing CLI tooling for that, basically. You know, we don't have a UI for. Oh my God, I'm still a little bit sick from the trip, but yeah, you typically would do that like just like you would do on Forge or Vapor, basically. So we don't have an exact UI for that. Kaman is asking, I'm very happy about how you guys figured out the hibernation stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The hibernation stuff is actually just, you know, mind-blowing regarding, it's also part of why we are using this modern technology behind the scenes. So, you know, it's Kubernetes and all this, you know, all this modern stuff. And because of that, we have things like hibernation, which is so powerful. I was wondering why you need $20 plan to have a custom domain. You cannot assign a CNAME record to the Laravel Cloud domain for free. We do provide a cloud domain to every single environment for free. So I'm not sure I get your question, by the way. But yeah, once you create a new environment, you have literally a cloud domain for free. Pick and flow sounds perfect. Thank you. I've watched this presentation 3 times. This will be my 4th time. All right, this will be my first time watching the presentation with Taylor behind the scenes. I think it'll be awesome. Yeah, we had like 800 Coke Zero cans on the backstage. Hi, Simon. How you doing, dude? Nice to see you. Yeah, I was tired, man. During the conference, I was so tired because I was working already for 4 days straight, and having not proper food potentially, just having burgers and things like that. So when I went to the conference, I was already a little bit tired. I must be honest. Yeah, I loved Amsterdam. That was awesome.
Actually, it's a big talk. Let's see. Back, it's always a lot of fun. We've done some big reveals here at Laracon EU. Back in 2019, we unveiled Laravel Vapor, which is a big moment in Laravel's history. And
now, something we have to say about Taylor is that it's always like I don't know if you still feel that, but for me, I still feel like every time I'm watching Taylor on stage, it still like looks like an idol to me. You know what I mean? Like Steve Jobs of my ecosystem, basically. Every single time I watch this guy like speaking, it feels like that to me. Yeah, I also feel like Cloud is like fire. I agree.
Stuff to show you today, so thanks for coming out. Laravel. It's been about 15 years since I wrote the first lines of what would become Laravel. And when I first started writing Laravel, I didn't actually set out to like create an open source thing, you know, or an open source community or a framework that I was going to share with the world or any of that. I really just had business ideas, side project ideas, startup ideas that...
Should we skip entirely to the cloud section? What do you guys think about that? I think I want to do that. Oh, actually, I want to talk about this. So yeah, Taylor pretty much unveiled that we are going to get new starter kits, a React starter kit as well. I haven't checked them yet, so I pretty much don't know what they are based on. My overall feeling is that they probably are based on ShadCN, at least it looks like so. So, you know, excited about this and giving them a try locally as well. How you doing, Arthur? Yeah, pretty much you can, with Laravel Cloud, you can pretty much create an environment based on a branch, for example. So something you can do is literally go to, you know, either go to Laravel Cloud and manually just click a new, create new environment and select like feed teams or whatever. That really works good. Oh no, so we have, so from my understanding, I can be wrong on this, okay? Remember that these live streams are insanely informal. So every time I say something, it's not like Laravel brand saying something. It's literally Nuno saying something, okay? So my overall feeling is that we are going to get React starter kits, Vue starter kits, and Livewire Flux starter kits, okay? So we'll be a Livewire Flux starter kit, basically, with a bunch of Flux free components. So effectively, Livewire Flux will be free, or at least like the most used components will be free. That was my understanding from this. Do you guys also got that from the presentation? Exactly. That was my overall feeling.
5 or 6 years, Laravel has had 2 starter kits.
Dude, I love Svelte. I've tried Svelte literally on the live stream, you know, 3 weeks ago or whatever. I loved Svelte. Looked really awesome, to be honest. To be really fair with you, I feel like most of these front-end frameworks, like React, Vue, but also Svelte, they are kind of similar a little bit, you know? They are, like, all of them are simple. All of them have kind of the same functions with a different name. You know, not talking about the Svelte kit or, you know, all those higher frameworks on top of these small libraries, but I feel like Svelte, React, and Vue, they are very similar.
Laravel Breeze, which is kind of our basic starter kit that gets you registration, login, password reset, and some setting screens. And we have Laravel Jetstream, which has all of that and like a couple extra features. It has 2-factor authentication and team support. To simplify the process of getting started with Laravel, we're consolidating that down into one starter kit per stack. So new developers into the ecosystem don't have to choose between multiple stacks, multiple starter kits, and sort of enter this decision paralysis that we don't really want them to have. And so when you create a new Laravel app using the new starter kits, you can choose, of course, to have an empty skeleton application like you can now, or you can simply pick your stack, React, Vue, or Livewire. And our previous generation of starter kits didn't use any of the modern component UI libraries that are so popular today, things like ShadCN or like Flux. So we're changing that in our new starter kits to make it incredibly fast to build.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying that the new React and Vue options will be based on ShadCN, which makes a lot of options. Are you guys familiar with ShadCN, by the way? Have you guys ever used ShadCN? Say yes on the chat if you have used ShadCN. and say no if you haven't. But yeah, ShadCN is very popular. It's literally like, imagine this UI components, React and Vue components that you can literally just, you know, get started with them very quickly. You know what I mean? It's very nice indeed. It feels like Flux for Livewire, but just with way more components at the moment. It's very nice, yeah.
Front ends and full stack applications. But rather than talk about them, let's just give the new starter kits a test drive.
Feels, for those who are like, you know, that still use things back in the days, do you remember like when you used to use something like Bootstrap 2 or Bootstrap 3, where we just copy components or code of components? ShadCN feels a little bit like that, where you can just copy stuff and then pass parameters to kind of specify how you want things. So you can have, for example, a button where you just provide like variation warning or variation error, and you have basically the button being styled for that variation, which is pretty cool.
All right, so I'm going to jump out of my slides.
It's actually demoing it, so
let's see
we're going to see real quick.
Let's go to, yeah, we're in our code directory. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you.
I pretty much use everything that Taylor is using on his laptop. So I use Beer, you know, for nodes. He's using iTerm2, which I also use. I don't use iTerm2 for my presentations, but I do use iTerm2 for local development. Table Plus, I use SQLace actually. SQLace for database UIs. Sublime Text, you know, fuck yeah, Sublime Text. I'm actually using, you know, I use a bunch of editors at the moment. So obviously PHP Storm for professional PHP development, but I still use Sublime Text sometimes to some quick editing, you know what I mean? Koba is asking me, what do I prefer between React, Vue, and Livewire? Dude, that's such a tricky question at the moment. Between React and Vue, I definitely prefer React, okay? Between React and Vue, I definitely prefer React. But between Inertia React and Livewire, I would say it depends, you know? If I need something that feels a little bit more like an SPA, you know, giving, you know, this really SPA feeling, I probably would go for React in Inertia. If I need something that, you know, something quick, probably would go with Livewire, you know what I mean? Kamo is asking if I will work with Fusion. Yeah, I mean, Fusion looks awesome. What do you guys thought about Fusion, by the way? Did you guys saw Fusion? I think Fusion will pretty much be the default in Inertia apps. If I want to bring some of Fusion development here to the live stream, but if Aaron Francis actually solved the problem of making Fusion cool, you know, and actually with editor support and all those cool things, I feel like Fusion have a high chance of actually just become the default in Inertia. Because why would you do that? Like, you know, why would you have that PHP code elsewhere? Just makes sense to be, you know, on the Vue itself. So I know that, you know, for some of you who are used to this traditional paradigm of having, you know, controllers, but also your Livewire files, and then you would have like the blade separate in a different file as well. It's actually pretty cool to have all that code combined in a single file. So, you know what I mean? So I think Fusion kind of fits that style a little bit. And also good to attract new GS devs, for sure. Exactly. It's literally like Volt and Folio together, but for JavaScript. Makes a bunch of sense.
All right, so let's create Laravel new React app. I'm going to pick the new React starter kit.
That's pretty cool.
And we'll let that install. This new React starter kit is built with React 19.
So it feels to me that we are pretty much trashing Jetstream, which is probably a good idea, right? Breeze was always my favorite starter kit, to be honest. Jetstream was cool, but I feel like we are bringing some of this Breeze inspiration to React to Vue in Livewire, which is pretty cool.
Inertia 2, TypeScript, and the popular ShadCN component library to make it super, super fast to build amazing front ends on Laravel. All right, so we'll let that install.
Khudizio is saying it will be difficult to add Xdebug support with Fusion. So that's the thing I think Arden Francis will have to solve, basically. I feel like having something like Fusion as a POC is probably easy, you know? However, having something like Fusion, which is widely supported by PHP Stan, supported by all editors, supported by, you know, all this tooling, that will be actually the difficult thing to do. That's just my opinion, okay? But I want to bring some Fusion development to the live stream. Oh yeah, these starter kits come with Inertia. Inertia 2 is just awesome. I love Inertia 2. Ishmael from YouTube is asking, hi Nuno, I want to ask you about open source as a career. Can someone really leave his company and depend on open source in donations for main money as income? Oh dude, I'm gonna just tell you up front, you don't want to live from open source, you know? People don't pay for free code. It's just something, it's not a good business basically, okay? I have packages with, like all my stuff combined have probably close to 1 billion downloads at the moment. And I still don't do, at least from open source only, like a salary, you know, a regular salary from someone like me. I already do like probably a Portuguese salary, but not like a regular, you know, freelancer salary from open source donations. So sorry about that. Sorry I'm breaking that out for you. But yeah, living out of open source is really difficult. Something that just, you know, takes a bunch of, you need to be smart a little bit, you know what I mean? Like kind of running courses aside, try to sell courses or things like that. What's typically what people do, right? What you usually see people doing is that they have like this open source project to generate, you know, literally have all this following, quality following, but then you would create a course aside to kind of selling those teachings. That's what people typically do. Paulo, thank you so much for the subscription on Prime. By the way, forgot to tell you, if you don't know me, my name is Nuno Madura. I'm a PHP Laravel developer. I'm also a Laravel core team member. That's why today we are watching this Laracon EU talk from Taylor Otwell, which is literally demoing the starter kits in Laravel. We're going to watch as well Laravel Cloud afterwards. But yeah, I'm streaming every single day, starting today again at 9 p.m., but I'm also publishing YouTube videos on my YouTube channel every single day at 1 p.m. It's all right. You can ask whatever you want, dude. This live stream is insanely informal.
All right, so our app is ready. We can just go into here.
What do you guys think about my mug today?
Composer
it's
dev.
ridiculous, right? I know.
All right, and here's our application, so we can go to the registration screen. Of course, we have all of the authentication screens like login, register, forgot password. This is using shadcn components built on React and TypeScript.
Yeah, confirmed.
Something I want to show you before I move on is, you know, in our previous starter kits, you were really locked into one kind of layout for your authentication cards or even for your application itself. And we've changed this in the new starter kits. So let me hop into the code. I'm going to throw this over here on the right. Let's open up my code on the left. We'll hide this.
Ooh, that was a sexy alliance
so
right there.
If I go into my auth layout, CN components built on React and CN. Let's open up my code on the
STT, so Sublime Text aliased to Open Sublime
left.
Text.
We'll
That's
this. Cool. All right, so
what's
if
up,
I go into
Yassine?
my
Nice to
auth
see you, dude.
layout
How you
file,
doing?
You can see here at the top right now, I'm on the simple layout. I can actually change that to the card layout.
Yeah, so Camille, this is actually, so this starter kits won't be like Jetstream. So pretty much you will have your controllers and, you know, all your views will be published in your application. So just like Breeze, basically.
And now you can see we've kind of got this Breeze style card for authentication layouts. But this is kind of cool. You can actually also switch to the split layout And if I make this bigger, now you've kind of got this 2-column split design
cool.
for your authentication card. So we're shipping a few different layout styles out of the box for you to customize.
Actually,
and all of this code lives in your application. There's nothing hidden or magical.
Thank you for coming, man.
If you want to customize anything about this, you can just pop open the front-end code in your app, change the Tailwind classes, and customize it exactly how you want. All right, so let's bring this side by side again. Let's go ahead and sign up. All right, so here I am on my dashboard. It looks really great. It's totally responsive. You can see I've got this sidebar over here that collapses really nice. We can go into our settings.
Yeah, I remember like when I was using ShotCN, one really cool thing about that is that everything is like responsive. Everything just clicks together. When you smash components together, they will just automatically just fit all well together. You know, that's kind of the magic behind ShotCN, basically.
Make this a little bit bigger. And we've got kind of the Breeze style settings. We can update our profile. We can delete our account.
I think Solo is a great package. It didn't yet clicked for me, so I would use it just by default. You know, looks awesome as a package. I think it's a great idea. But, you know, maybe in the future will be something that I would just use by default. At the moment, it's not, you know.
We can update our password, and we can even change the appearance from light to dark mode or follow system settings. So it looks really great, and it's really crisp and fast to use with Inertia 2.0 and prefetching. So let me go back to the dashboard and actually show you some of the application layouts. So again, when you were using Laravel Breeze or Laravel Jetstream,
thank you, Ferrari.
You were totally locked into the layout without a lot of customization. There was no way to kind of have different options of layouts in regards to where you start your application. So we've changed that. So let's go back to our code and open.
We are working at the so we have Postgres offering on Laravel Cloud, and we are actively working. Actually, I am working actively with the team to have MySQL as well on Laravel Cloud. That may come on GA or a few days after GA. Let's see how it goes.
Open up app layout. And you can see right here at the top, we're using app sidebar layout right now. I can actually change that to app header layout. And now you've kind of got this header style layout with a top navigation bar and all of the content down below.
Pretty cool.
I'll change this back to sidebar for now. All right, and then even within the sidebar style layout, if I come in here to app sidebar, here we can have, you can see our nav items and our breadcrumbs and things like that. But down here on variant sidebar, I can actually switch between different sidebar.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was telling you, that you basically just copy paste these components and then you provide options to them, like variant sidebar, and I'm pretty much sure that.
So I'll change this to sidebar variant inset.
Go. This will just adjust things.
And now I'm not
bit.
sure if it's coming through very well on the screen, but you can actually see the sidebar area wraps around this content area and is inset. It looks really great. And when you collapse it, everything looks good. So we've got the inset variant, or you can have the floating sidebar variant, which makes the sidebar float over here on the left and your content is over here on the right.
Yeah.
Everything's responsive. Everything has light mode and dark mode support, and it just feels really smooth and really great. Caleb has graciously agreed to make a base set of Flux components available for free. Everything we need for these starter kits. That includes buttons, cards, even the layouts, even modals is going to be totally free at the end of this month.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, this was the audience at Laracon EU. Pretty cool venue, by the way. So all of this was like pretty much full all the time. I didn't actually went to this place right here. I was always outside. For some reason, I have developed this, you know, anxiety every time I'm like in these places or whatever. So I feel I'm more nervous when I'm downstairs than I am when I'm on stage. Just, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, ShotCN is pretty cool. I agree with you, Paulo. David is saying no plans on SQLite. I don't know. At the moment, we don't have SQLite offering.
This will give you all the basic building blocks you need for building Livewire and Flux-powered apps, while Flux Pro will be reserved for really intensive components like charts,
Yeah, let's talk about Laravel
editors,
Cloud. All right.
things like that. But all
Here we go.
Dallas last year. With Laravel Cloud, we really set out to build the best deployment platform. Will be totally free in Flux later this month.
All right, here we go, boys.
And I'm
Here we
super
go.
excited. I think this is going to really supercharge the Livewire community. And being able to spin up a new Livewire starter kit and have these great, well-designed building blocks for your application is just going to be an incredible productivity boost for Livewire developers. So I'm super excited about that and super thankful to Caleb for making this possible. All right, so that's a preview of our new starter kits. Go ahead and close this stuff out. All right, back in my slides. What else have we been cooking? Well, that's a big one. It's one
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see the progress from last year to this year on Laravel Cloud. So the last Laravel Cloud demo was on Laracon US last year. So since then have been like, what, 7 months? And something I'm very proud about these demos is that everything you are seeing on stage is like reality, you know? It's not like faked or whatever. So pretty much everything that we are demoing, it's literally usable. And, you know, early access customers are already using this stuff that we have demo on stage. So that feels good, you know, that feels good. At the same time, it's like nerve-wracking to see, you know, all the stuff Taylor was doing on stage was actually creating resources behind the scenes, you know, actually creating databases, actually creating caches, actually creating domains. So all that stuff was actually like real, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember, but even Steve Jobs was saying when he was doing like the Apple keynotes that sometimes demos would be totally fake. And this demo from Taylor was effectively all true, you know? So
as you probably guessed, we have spent some additional time working on Laravel Cloud since we unveiled it at Laracon US in Dallas last year. With Laravel Cloud, we really set out to build the best deployment platform and infrastructure platform, for that matter, that's ever been created for Laravel. And not just for Laravel, but for PHP in general. Building an experience that was far beyond anything that has existed before. And like I said earlier, developer expectations have changed. It's no longer good enough to wait 15 or 20 minutes while your server builds to get your application live.
That's
Developers just want to ship. I just want to ship. And I think most of you do too. In 2014, Forge made it super easy to ship and manage Laravel applications. And we're actually excited to continue evolving Laravel Forge as well. We have a lot of really awesome new ideas and new features in the pipeline for Forge. And we at Laravel actually remain fully committed to the idea that a developer should have the freedom to choose
with Cloud, yes,
to self-host their application on a VPS provider of their choice using Laravel Forge, or have a fully managed platform, a fully managed infrastructure on Laravel Cloud. So Forge isn't done yet, not by a long new Chrome window. Here we are on the Laravel Cloud sign-in page. Go ahead and log in. If I can type my password correctly. All right, and here we are on the Cloud dashboard. This is where I can see an overview of my applications.
Oh my God, something we were very concerned is like every time you speak on stage, if you have like a very white background, sometimes the little details like these lines right here, they don't appear on the screen basically because of contrast. You know what I mean? So, and because these colors are like so close together, there was a small risk if the screen on stage wasn't good enough, people wouldn't see like these small lines right here, these shadows in all those small light, you know, all those small and cool details. But at the end, it ended up actually being good.
My recent deployments, my recent commits, and all of these projects live within
So
my...
I actually have 2 stories to tell you about this demo. One of the stories, I was almost puking on the backstage. The second one was Taylor was trying to demo something, but actually people were so fast going to the website he just have created that he wasn't fast enough to demo that feature.
Cloud
let's see how
demo
it goes,
organization
okay?
up here at the top left. So I can organize my projects.
Justin is asking, can you show us some features you have worked while Taylor was talking? Dude, pretty much all you are seeing, I have either, you know, built or, you know, worked with a team to build. Because something about, you know, something about cloud is that the features are so connected to each other that pretty much everyone have worked on everything. You know what I mean? So I've pretty much touched on everything, and all the other team members have touched on everything pretty much. You know, that's the benefit of having like designers, but also people with very good front-end skills, is that even if you just do the back end, you have people building the front end and also other people designing. So everyone touches on everything pretty much. The backstage was lively for sure.
By organization. So I could have a side projects organization, or my Laravel organization, or here my cloud demo organization.
So actually, I don't know if Taylor got inspired himself by this, but in my own Laravel Cloud account, I also have a side projects organization. Pretty much the organization I have, like Pest, PHP and everything, it's under side projects at the moment. Oh, sorry about the ad, dude. I'm thinking about removing ads because I mean they don't even pay enough, so I may just remove them. But yeah, it will. I think it will support Laravel Horizon. To be honest, I don't see a reason why it wouldn't support Laravel Horizon, because you can have wrong logging processes behind the scenes, so that should just work. Taylor will demo that, but you can literally create an instance or just on your web instance have long running processes, one of them being Horizon. So that should just work.
And it's really great. I can jump into any of these applications, see their environments and their recent commits, and get an overview of what's happening with them. I can even jump between applications using our new command palette. So if I want to jump into Beep, I can just go to Beep in the command palette.
So don't tell anyone, but Taylor coded this command palette himself. Like this feature you are seeing right now on stage, Taylor pretty much come up with everything. And we just had like to do small tweakings and to clean up a little bit, but Taylor pretty much coded this command palette by himself. That's kind of crazy though. It's actually quite mind-blowing how useful it is, this command palette. Like, you know, to navigate on the platform, you can just type like the environment name or the application name. You got a little navigating between organizations, which is pretty cool.
To the other application, I can just pick that in the command palette. It's super fast to navigate. We tried to make cloud incredibly productive. All right, so again, we're in the cloud demo project, or demo organization, but let's start totally from scratch. Let's jump into an empty organization and see what it's like to deploy a fresh Laravel application out to cloud.
You mean the command palette? No, it's just really just, you know, we have a bunch of static information we load on the command palette, but we also have an endpoint to do to load some of the asynchronous results of the search. You know what I mean? So for example, if you want to search for applications on different in different organizations, we are going to use the search. But if you want to search for applications within your current organization, we just load them super fast for you. David is asking, what are you the most afraid of going to the demo? So probably domains. So domains is always something that scares me a little bit because of DNS propagation. So, you know, Taylor, I think he was using a domain on this demo, and that scared me a little bit because DNS propagation, basically, you know, takes a while to domains actually have an effect. So that scared me a little bit. What else? But also, like, there was a UI component, which is the canvas, which we did a lot of changes leading up to the demo. So I was, you know, not super scared, but I was, you know, anxious to see if everything would work out. It did, so that's cool. But that small new component, the canvas, which you are going to see in a moment, I was a little bit concerned that it would possibly break, but it didn't. So very happy about that. And it's saying, I hadn't noticed during the demo, the basic subscription didn't allow for custom domains. It makes it just good for testing things and sharing with someone. Yeah, you mean the sandbox plan, the one that you don't have to pay for it? Yeah, the one that you don't have to pay for it basically gives you a cloud domain where you can just test and share with colleagues. Yeah. Yeah, we use Docker behind the scenes. You don't see it, but we use Docker.
PHP organization. All right, so let's pick new application. And I want to show you just how easy it is to get started on Laravel Cloud. It's unlike anything that's been built before for PHP. I've already linked my GitHub account to Cloud, so I'm just going to pick the Laracon.
There's a small thing here which I always like to demo. Can I show you guys?
Jump between applications using our new command palette. So if I want to jump into Beep, I can just go to Beep in the command palette.
Oh my God.
If I want to jump or demo organization, but let's start totally from scratch. Let's jump into an empty organization and see what it's like to deploy a fresh Laravel application out to cloud. So we're going to use the ship PHP organization. All right, so let's pick new application. And I want to show you just how easy it is to get started on Laravel Cloud. It's unlike anything that's been built before for PHP. I've already linked my GitHub account to Cloud, so I'm just
one very cool thing we are doing here is that on this source control provider, which is called ship PHP, typically would be like your own name, you know, like Nuno Maduro or Ana Lisboa or any kind of other, you know, GitHub organization. And if you create, for example, a new project in that organization, that project will automatically appear on this list via Reverb, which is pretty cool. That happens if you allow that when you install basically your GitHub account on this through Reverb events, which is pretty cool. What's up, Steven? Nice to see you, dude. Marcel, boa noite. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hi, Mateos. Nice to see you. How you doing? Canada is asking if we will be able to install TypeSense in Miley Search on Cloud. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. ETA is saying that I cannot wait to use Cloud on my SaaS. Yeah, I think everyone will have a good time with this.
To pick the Laracon EU demo. Why don't I just call this Laracon EU demo like that? We'll put it in US East, but we actually have 4 regions right now with more to come, probably before launch. Right now we're in Ohio, Frankfurt, London, and Singapore. All right, so I'm going to pick US East and hit Create Application. Once that application is created, it will create an environment for that main branch. And here I can get an overview of my entire stack and customize it and build it how I want.
Yeah, so when you guys were asking me like what I was most scared, so literally this diagram we are seeing right now was one of the latest things we have built on Laravel Cloud. And there is a lot of JavaScript code on this diagram that, you know, was built on the days, you know, leading up into this demo. But yeah, everything is working. So far, no customer have reported any problem so far.
Compute cluster for my app. I've got my edge network and domains out here, which
But it's pretty cool because it gives you like a visibility of your entire environment, you know, like the edge network, the domains, but also the app web instance. If you want to have like multiple worker clusters, you know, or if you want to have a database, a caching, an ad bucket, which is pretty cool.
Into later. But really, all I need to do is hit deploy.
So,
All right.
Canada is asking,
Cloud
how was the
will start
UI before the canvas diagram? So the UI actually, it wasn't bad, you know. The thing is that you had to go to settings and then kind of go to the resources section, and from that place actually create a database or a cache. So I feel like now it's just more faster because you got instantly redirected once you create an application to that diagram, which tells you exactly what you can and cannot do.
Changing my application and deploying it to our managed infrastructure. I don't need to do anything else if I don't want to. Laravel Cloud is fine-tuned for Laravel
is saying,
apps,
I've been using the early access for a while, and Cloud is awesome. Great work, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you have any project on there already? Like, you know, any side project on that Laravel Cloud? Mateus is also saying, how do I add Artisan to Cloud? I added the work with PHP Artisan, but Artisan is always down. I would advise you to check your logs, basically your application logs. They will contain the reason why Artisan doesn't seem to start. Yasin is asking, how do you make inertia look so smooth? So Taylor is demoing, and we have been, you know, applying some techniques into this stuff, like prefetching with Inertia 2. I feel like prefetching and Inertia 2 actually make things so fast. But obviously, you want to make sure that, you know, every single request does the least or the last possible database queries as possible, but also that you return not as much information. Also, like if you have any kind of screen that you want to render, you can always defer the rendering of that given screen, for example. So you need to apply, you know, some of the techniques of that Inertia 2 allows you to.
Exactly how to build, deploy, run, scale, and secure Laravel apps in a way that's never been built before.
This UI of deployments is actually still the very same one that we have built 3 months ago.
All right, so we come through here, you can see that it's installing my composer dependencies.
Simple one.
I'm sure many of us have seen this output many times. All right, it's getting all that done. Looks like my build is finished, so now it's about to move on to the deployment phase, where it's actually rolling this app out onto our infrastructure. Laravel Cloud runs on AWS. It's fully managed. The infrastructure team has spent so much time perfecting this platform to make it robust and secure and scalable for your applications. All right, so it looks like our app is deployed. So
that's crazy. So you basically just created your application and you hit the deploy button, and that exactly took 47 seconds to deploy. So, you know, you just create application, you click on deploy, and you wait 47 seconds to have the app running. And probably most of the time was spent building, you know, running Composer in Node commands, which is kind of crazy.
I'm going to go back to my environment, and you can see right here, we've been assigned a Laravel.
Someone was asking like how the domain story will be. So basically you get assigned to a free domain every time you create an environment. So on this application, you can have many environments. In this particular one, this is the vanity domain.
Cloud domain. Every application on Laravel Cloud is its own Laravel Cloud domain that you can share with your teammates or use to collaborate. And boom, here's our new Laravel application. It's already out and running on Laravel Cloud. All right, so that was really fast. That felt really easy. What else can we do? Okay, so let's close this out. Now, most Laravel applications, you know, they're full stack. They have a database, maybe they have a cache, maybe they have storage. Let's go ahead and start adding these pieces to our application. So this demo app I have out here is actually using that new Livewire starter kit we saw just a few minutes ago.
The UI is built with Inertia 2
So I'm going to
React.
need a database and a cache, and we'll look at storage later. So to add a database, I just go right here to this canvas view of my infrastructure, and I hit Add Database. I don't have any databases in this organization yet, so I can just go ahead and create one right from here. I'm going to choose Laravel Serverless Postgres. This will auto-scale based on the needs of my application, so I don't really need to worry about thinking too hard up front about how much scale I need. The database will scale up as much as I need so that I can just focus on building my app.
Yeah.
All right, I can name this cluster.
Basically, this small details like this shadowing, but also these borders that really look cool. This is what happens when you have a design team, man. It really feels cool, to be honest.
That default name sounds fine. And then within the cluster, you can create multiple databases for each app that's using this overall database
the live stream,
cluster.
Though, is like, it's not in 4K, which is a little bit blurry, the background.
This main, that's also fine for now. We could customize some additional things about the database, like the region, or how long it will hibernate, or the amount of time that can pass with no activity before the database will hibernate. What this means is, you can see I've got 300 seconds here. If our database doesn't receive any queries for 5 minutes, it will actually go to sleep. And the next time it's queried, it will wake up. And these databases wake up in a couple hundred milliseconds. It doesn't take long for them to wake up. But what's awesome is while they're sleeping, you don't pay for compute. That makes Laravel Cloud and serverless Postgres no-brainer for side projects, staging environments, where you can be really cost efficient. While your application's not being used, you're not paying for the compute time. It's really awesome. Cool. Yeah. All right, I'm going to crank this up to, let's do 1800, which I think is like 30 minutes. And we can also customize the auto-scaling range. I'm going to bump this up just a little bit to give it a bigger range to scale between. All right, so I'll save this, and now we'll just hit Create Database Cluster. And that database is being created now. And now it's already created. That's how quick it is to make a new serverless Postgres database on cloud. Let's go ahead and add a cache while we're in here. New cache. Laravel Cloud Key Value Store is compatible with the Redis API. So that's great. We can pick what size we want. 250 megs is fine, but we could scale it up if we want. And we can, again, pick our region. And I'll just hit Create Cache. All right,
yeah, basically,
I've added
if you
a
want,
database in a cache.
If you
so
want
you can see here, I've got unsaved
uploaded files to persist, when you redeploy your application, you need to add a bucket to store those images, videos, and more. You know what I mean?
Changes to my infrastructure. I'm just going to hit Save and Deploy. All right, and Cloud is going to start rolling out a new deployment with our new infrastructure in place, our new database, and our new cache. And you notice I never had to mess with environment variables. I never had to mess with config variables. Yeah, it just Laravel works. Cloud is really built and fine-tuned for Laravel. And all the environment variables we need to connect to this database and this cache are just automatically injected into the application. All right, so let's let this deployment roll out. All deployments on cloud are rolled out with 0 downtime by default, of course. So as this is going out, even building an entirely new infrastructure, none of our customers are going to experience downtime.
Really open.
All right, looks like we've made it through the build phase. Let's go ahead and go down here to the deployment phase.
Looks you guys see this? This running deploy command. So basically something we have done is that if you attach a database to your Laravel Cloud environment, we are going to automatically make sure you have PHP Artisan Migrate, so you don't have to do it, basically, which is kind of cool. So basically, you just attach a database, and automatically we are going to adjust the deploy script, which you can obviously tweak if you want to, but we are going to automatically uncomment or add a PHP Artisan Migrate. So basically, your database will run migrations on deploy, which is kind of a handy thing to do.
It's wrapping up. You can see it ran my migrations because we attached that database. And now it's rolling out to our new cluster. All right. Looks like that is done. Great. So let's just hit visit. And now we should be able to register with the application since we have a database.
Annelish is asking, one thing I didn't saw mentioned was when you push changes to branch, an environment is automatically deployed. Yes. So basically you have push to deploy automatically enabled. So that's something we have by default. You don't even need to enable, meaning that if Taylor, for example, were to push something right now to the branch he's working on, that will automatically deploy his application on Laravel Cloud. I think he may actually demo that during the demo. I don't know.
All right.
Oh yeah, you can have multiple environments. That's the thing already. You can have literally staging, dev, production, etc.
All right, so we've got our database. You can see over here on the, let me make this a little bit bigger. You can see over here on the left, I've got a few tabs where we can try some of the other new features. Let's click the cache tab. And you can see we've got this loading thing while it pulled something from the cache. And now if we hit this route again, it doesn't have to do that until the cache expires, which it will in a few seconds. Our cache is busted. So we're able to interact with our cache. Zero configuration, zero environment variable changing. Everything just works. Our database and our cache is in place. Now, let's go back to our Laravel Cloud.
Canada is asking if it is a way of visualizing what is on a DB.
Here we have that overview again,
you can
that
basically,
canvas view of our infrastructure.
set up a
And let me show you a few
public
cool
endpoint
things
or
about
enable the
these
public
resources
endpoint
we've added.
on Cloud to
All right, so if I go here to
access
database, I can hit view credentials. I can do a few other things like replace or detach the database. For example, if I click detach here, it's prompting me to save and deploy that. Of course, we don't want to do that. I'm just going to reset that. It pops right back in. We can also go to view credentials. All right, so this is where it
Philippe is asking how the environment and workspaces branch are handled internally. Do you store the latest visited environment branch on the user? Not really. We have this concept of default environment. So, for example, typically if you have a website where you have like staging, for example, dev, staging, and production, typically the default environment will be production. So, so that will be the one that will always get presented by default. Basically.
Shows me the credentials for my database in this kind of list view, or I could get them as environment variables. Or let me show you this, which is really cool, a deep link, where I think if I click open here, it will actually open this database in Table Plus.
This is actually badass. This is actually badass.
Environment variable changing, environment database. I can hit view credentials. I can do a few other things like replace or detach the database. For example, if I click detach here, it's prompting me to save and deploy that. Of course, we don't want to do that. I'm just going to reset that. It pops right back in. We can also go to view credentials. All right, so this is where it shows me the credentials for my database in,
Yeah, someone was asking on the chat, like, how exactly can you visualize, for example, a database from your favorite tool in your laptop? So something you can do is this
kind of list view, or I could get them as environment variables. Or let me show you this, which is really cool, a deep link, where I think if I click open here, it will actually open this database in Table Plus.
This is actually awesome.
So you can see there's our two users up there, Taylor at Laravel.com, which someone stole from me, and TaylorOtwell at gmail.com. All right, so it's really great.
Something that always happened is that when Taylor does a demo on stage, people will always create accounts and try to screw his demo over. It's kind of crazy.
Great. And the same for cache, right? I can view credentials, I can replace, or I can detach the cache. All right? And again, with a deep link, that will just pop open Table Plus directly to that Redis compatible database. It's really easy to use. All right, so we've got a database and cache. Let's go ahead and finish out this kind of resource story by adding some object storage. All right, so I'm going to hit Add Bucket. So once I create the bucket, it's asking me what is it on. It's my default bucket in my Laravel application.
Yeah, someone was asking like, how do you store images and things like that? So that would be through this bucket. So basically, you just add a bucket and then you interact with the storage, like typically you would do in Laravel. You would use the facade storage to persist stuff on the file system. Okay, where the file system will be available globally is this bucket resource.
And I'm just going to hit save and deploy. And again, it's going to roll out.
Someone is asking, what does detaching DB do? So basically, it detaches, or let's say deconnects the database from this environment, but it's still available for other people, for other applications if you want to.
A new deployment of my application with zero downtime. All right, while this approach which is how long environment settings, an application can have multiple environments, which we'll see later. So I can rename the environment. I can even give it a new color. For example, if this is production, maybe I want that to be red. So I'm going to change that to red. I can change the Git branch. I can change my PHP version, my Node version, my HTTP timeout, my graceful shutdown timeout, which is how long Laravel Cloud will keep your old deployment around while your queued jobs.
This is a nice touch right here. So basically, if you are like a content creator, or if you are on stage, for example, something you don't want to happen is that you don't want like leak environment variables. So pretty much all the sensitive, screens will have this reveal secrets, and only reveal the secrets if you actually click on this button.
Finish up, or while any incoming.
Not a lot of people think about this UI aspects, but sometimes when you have apps like Laravel Cloud with a bunch of sensitive information, the last thing you want is like sharing your screen and just leak a bunch of environment variables. Exactly. There is no serverless on this. So basically, those instances running the web, they are not serverless. Okay. Johnny is saying that Taylor is just lucky that he didn't put bad stuff on the DB. So true, dude. Always happen, man. It's crazy. Philippe is asking, I'm curious, why did you choose slugs over IDs in URL for the environment project in branch? It's to give you some sort of friendly navigation, It's just better. So here, for example, we see that he is on the ship PHP organization. He is on the Laravel EU demo application. He is on his main environment. So if you go to, realistically, if you go to any serious application, you will always see these friendly URLs. For example, if you go to Twitter today, you will probably see your own username being displayed prior to the post itself, for example, on URL. But also on websites like New York Times or on other kind of websites, you will always see like the slugified friendly version of the URL being attached on the browser, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Exactly. Imagine having here, for example, app laravel.cloud, organization 3, app 1, environment 3, just feels a little bit, less cool, in my opinion. Yeah, Laravel Cloud uses Kubernetes as technology behind the scenes.
Requests that haven't been completed yet or processed. I can customize my environment variables. I can see all of the environment variables that Cloud is injecting for me, which I'm not going to reveal live here on stage. And of course, I can delete the environment. But let me show you something cool about environment variables while I'm in here. If I hit reveal secrets and jump into this, let's say I try to override a variable that Cloud was injecting. So like app debug, for example. You can see that it warns me live that I'm overriding an injected variable. It's sort of just a hint for like, cool. Hey, I hope you know what you're doing here because
useful.
you're.
How many times sometimes you are literally working and you override like an environment variable and then you just forgot like how things used to be. So here, for example, I know if I come to this screen back, I just know that I have changed this app debug. And this is probably something that I want to revert, and I know exactly what I have changed.
Overriding something we think your application needs. It's really great. All right, so that's some of the settings. Let's go into, our application settings. So here I can actually set a photo for the application as well as change a few other things about it. I think I've got a little Amsterdam logo here. All right, we'll save that. I can also change my default environment and just even delete the entire application if I want.
There we go. Someone was asking like, what is like the default environment on the one that gets presented by default? So this is where you can change that basically.
All right, so let's go to my environments and go back to my main environment. Looks like our deployment is done. Yep, it looks like it is. So let's go ahead and visit our app again. We'll go to the dashboard. And I've got this storage route. And let me pull up the code for this so you can see what it does. Laracon EU demo. We'll go into the routes. And if we look at storage, you can see that all I'm doing is doing storage.
Yasin is asking, can we override environment variables at runtime like this? Can you elaborate in your question, dude? Sorry.
Disk put with this image, which I've got stored in the application, and then I'm just going to return a temporary URL. Remember, this is a private bucket, so I need to create a pre-signed URL to allow access to that image. But what I want you to see here is that I'm just calling storage disk. And because Cloud knows about Laravel and it knows this is my default disk, this is just available to me. I don't have to have any different configuration or any like knowledge that this is even running on Cloud at all, right? This is exactly what it would look like during local development, which is really great and really convenient. All right, so let's hit the storage route. That's going to put the file on our disk, on our bucket. Then we can hit view photo, and here we've got that photo, which was signed with a temporary URL, which we should see expiring, and there it goes. So it's just that easy to attach a storage bucket. So
Adrian is saying, usually Turla does the whole talk on his web.php file. That's actually crazy, right? I think it's badass, to be honest. At this point, he's still doing, you know, his demos on Sublime Text. Yeah, so basically, when you change environment variables, you can decide if you want to save or save in deploy, basically. So you can save and then basically wait for a few things before you hit deploy again. So it's not a runtime, so it will only take effect when you actually deploy your application again.
just this easily, we've had an application deployed, a database, a cache, a bucket, all with zero configuration, with zero environment variables we had to tinker with zero servers we had to think about, rolling out deployments with zero downtime. It's incredibly productive. All right, so what else can we do with this environment? Let's jump through some of these other tabs. Let's check out the commands tab. So here we can actually just issue arbitrary commands to an available replica of our application. So for example, I could do PHP artisan list. It's going to fire that off to an available replica, and I'm going to get the output. Okay, really simple, really easy to use, really convenient for when you just need to run a one-off artisan command against your application that's running on cloud. We can also view our application's logs. So I can come in here, I can view my recent application logs, I can search my logs, I can even look at my access logs to see the activity that's happening in my application. And of course, Nightwatch will give you an even deeper insight and overview of what's happening in your application. All right,
Pekinflow is asking, how did you create those dynamic node lines between each item on the canvas? Dude, I would love to have Jason Bax literally just explaining how he have done those lines. You know, he was the guy actually creating some of that UI on the canvas. So I feel like he probably could deliver the talk just on that topic. I know it was complicated though, so.
Already looked at settings. Let's go back to our environment. Okay, so we deployed our application, but what if we want to scale it? You know, I just deployed it to the default instance compute size.
I don't think you have to pay for building time. At least I don't have seen it anyone speaking about that.
Which is small. What if our application has a lot of traffic? All we need to do to adjust our scaling settings is click on the app. And we get this nice flyout window where I can customize everything about the scale of my application. All right, so right now I'm running on a small instance. Let's go ahead and bump that up to medium. That gives me more CPU, more RAM.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite things on Laravel Cloud is that you can literally come here, specify the size you want, and you click on Save and Deploy. You wait 30 seconds, and it's deployed on production. And you can scale back to the small size if you want to, and it would take 30 seconds, and that's it. You can also specify the auto scaling you want, which can be none, custom, or unlimited, which is pretty cool. So feels like, feels a great tool for people that are developing, side projects like I do sometimes, but also for people who want to have incredible scale basically as well in production.
Then let's tinker with these auto scaling settings. So let me walk through these.
Dressing code, I'm doing awesome. How you doing yourself? Tagus Mikael is saying Kubernetes magic. That's right, dude. Stino is asking if I was directly involved in cloud. Yeah, man, I mean, it's my day job, I literally work 8 hours per day on Laravel Cloud. So, yes. Pickenful is saying that I wrote the good parts. Not really. I mean, I'm part of a bigger team, We have like 10, 12 members only on cloud. So everyone have made a great job. Adrian is asking if Canvas is handmade. I think it is, dude. I need to ask Jason Bax if we are using any library, but I think we are literally only using, Tailwind, React for these lines, basically, Miran, thank you so much for saying welcome back. Thank you so much. It's really cool to see you. Mikael is saying, hi, Nuno. It was nice to meet you at Laracon. Thank you so much, dude. Nice to see you as well. But yeah, literally, like, I feel like this particular section right here is one of my favorites. You can literally have, horizontal and vertical scaling. You can literally specify that you want like a small instance or a big one. And you can scale up or scale down in 30 seconds. You can also specify if you want auto scaling, none if you want to run in a single replica, or custom if you want to go between like 2 and 8, for example, replicas.
So by default, my auto
awesome.
scaling setting is set to none. That means my application is essentially running on a single replica, or you could think of it as like a single server if you were thinking in terms of Laravel Forge. But I can actually pick custom auto scaling and choose a range of replicas that I want Laravel Cloud to auto.
Yeah, so this particular section right here is like, if you don't have traffic, you can stay with on one replica, and just basically pay one replica. But if you go viral, we are going to create replicas to serve that traffic as well, up to 4 right here, but you can go up to 10, and you can create multiple, instances, which is pretty cool.
Scale my application between as demand increases. This is really convenient because it allows for predictable billing. I know how much compute I'm willing to allocate at a maximum and at a minimum, which lets me have predictable performance, but also predictable billing. Or for the most demanding applications, I can go full unlimited auto scaling, which will scale all the way up as much as needed to handle the demands of my application. All right, for now, let's use custom, and yeah, we'll keep it between 2 and 4. And down here, since Cloud is fine-tuned for Laravel, I can even do really nice things like enable the scheduler or enable Laravel Octane. It's super easy, and all I need to do is just deploy, and everything just works. All right, I'm going to turn that off. I could also configure Hibernation here. So Hibernation, similar to what we saw on the database side, can also be applied at the application side. So if my application is not receiving traffic, Laravel Cloud will put it to sleep, and I don't pay for any compute time while the application is sleeping. This makes it absolutely a no-brainer to throw.
Matheus is saying, I missed Laracon EU this time, but I'm looking forward to Laracon US. You going to Laracon US, dude? That will be fun to watch you. For those who don't know, I've basically played Counter-Strike with Matheus, but because it's based on Brazil, the ping was just too big. It was literally impossible to play. Raisin NNTV is asking, what do you use for caching? Redis or something else you prefer? Dude, I've been using database for caching at the moment. I've been, sometimes, especially when I'm using SQLite, I'm literally using everything based on SQLite, like sessions, queue jobs, caching, the database itself, everything lives on SQLite. But, database as a cache driver works really cool. Thank you, Francisco, for resubscribing my channel. I really appreciate that. Chico is saying we need to play on a LAN. Feels like 2004. For real, dude. I'm a big fan of video games, by the way. So Jacob is asking if I will be at Laracon US. Yes, I will. Thank you, thank you.
Every side project, every staging environment on Laravel Cloud. When it's not needed, it'll hibernate.
Adrian, I really appreciate the resubscription for 2 months. Thank you so much, dude. By the way, I really appreciate you guys being so supportive of my channel these recent days. We are already with more than 11K YouTube subscribers, which feels unreal, to be honest. So I really appreciate your feedback and everything you guys are doing to support my channel. Tiago, thank you so much for resubscribing my channel as well. You guys are just awesome, so I really appreciate that. Mateus Junges, thank you so much for the resubscription. Tuhawk as well, thank you so much for your subscription as well. Really appreciate your support, guys. Thank you. It's kind of crazy that I've literally reinvested all the money I'm getting from streams on all this material to try to live stream on Laracon EU. And I feel like I disappointed you guys because I didn't use any of that material at Laracon EU. So hopefully I will use it on Laracon India. So I've been thinking a little bit. I've been thinking, and I do think a lot. You guys know that. I've been thinking that, so basically I have Laracon India, and I have a layover of 20 hours on Dubai. So I may actually do like a few days on Dubai with Mohammed Saeed, and then I travel directly to India. I've been thinking about that. Mo is asking if this channel is subscription based. It's not, dude. You don't have to subscribe my channel. The only thing I'm asking is, leave a like. That's it. I haven't played Fortnite with Taylor. I have played Rocket League with Taylor, though. Laravel Cloud will be available on the 24th of February, so it's in 2 weeks. Jesus Christ.
And when a request comes in, Cloud will wake the application up and serve the request. All right, I'm going to leave that off for now. So once we've picked a new auto-scaling strategy, all we need to do is save and deploy. And Cloud is going to roll that out to our increased replicas, total new infrastructure cluster, always.
Make that transition from saving to deploy even faster. Currently I'm like using the use form from inertia to literally save the form, and if it's successful, trigger a redeployment. I can probably do that on the backend directly, so the user doesn't have to wait 200 more milliseconds, probably.
Zero downtime. And roughly 1 minute.
I will think about that.
While this is deploying, I want to show you an app that is hibernating.
At the moment...
All right, so let's jump into a different...
At the moment, it's just for Laravel applications, the Laravel Cloud. But don't tell anyone. I have actually tried other applications. For example, I've tried the Symfony application. It actually just works. So I don't see a reason why this wouldn't, Laravel Cloud wouldn't expand a little bit to other applications or frameworks on the PHP ecosystem. Pickinflow is asking if the Laravel Cloud team will work until the release date. I feel like we obviously want to stabilize things. Things are stable already, to be honest, you know what I mean? Because we have customers already. So, we have a backlog of things we need to tackle before GA, but definitely things are stable already, so I'm very confident about the release date. Thank you, Code Sorcerer. I really appreciate you saying that.
Organization. Let's jump into...
Raisin NNTV is saying the bad part of using database for caching is that it doesn't support tags, unfortunately. I have no idea what are tags for caching. Can you explain that to me, please?
Cloud demo. And let's go to the Swipple organization. And you can see right here, this application, see how it's got that hibernating symbol in the top right of its main environment? And watch what happens if I come into this environment. Up here at the top, you get this really nice hibernating bar that shows you the status of the application. And if I hover over this, I can see for how long my application has been hibernating.
All right, you guys saw that?
Woke up.
So basically, someone, meanwhile, went to the website. That's why the Hibernation banner disappeared. So Taylor wanted to basically go to the website, visit the website, and then show the Hibernation banner disappearing. And what happened was, because the cloud domain is public, people just went to the browser and woke up the application. That's crazy, right?
What we need to do is save. Let's jump into collaboration. And if I hover over this, I can see.
So Taylor, like, he was thinking that he was about to open this cloud domain in the separate tab to show like the banner disappearing. And what happened was someone from the audience or from the live stream literally visited the website meanwhile, and that's why this banner disappeared.
See for how long my application has been hibernating, and it just woke up. So I can go ahead and visit that application, and boom, it's online. And when the application goes back to sleep, we'll know that it's hibernating. So you get a quick overview of what's hibernating and what's not. All right, let's jump back into our Laracon EU application and into our main environment. As our deployment finished, really convenient. You don't need to spin up dedicated worker clusters just to process a few queued jobs. I can just pop open my app, go down to the background processes section, hit new background process. I get this really...
Yeah, I don't think people understood what happened right there and why the banner disappeared, but that was fun though. Moonboys is asking if Laravel Cloud supports reverb. So, I mean, it supports everything that you can run as a running process. So if reverb is something that you would install in the regular Laravel application, you can literally run reverb on Laravel Cloud as well. Like Artisan, basically.
Nicely designed overview of all of the available Laravel queue options. I don't need to customize any of this because I'm just using the database queue. And I can pick how many instances of that process I want. Let's do 3. And I'll hit create background process and then save and deploy it out to my infrastructure. It's super easy. All right, so we're going to let that build. Once this rolls out, we should see those pending transactions change to processed. To spin up dedicated worker clusters to have one for a web server and then maybe a worker server that processes.
Yeah, Taylor is now demoing like how can you add multiple worker clusters, you know what I mean? Like multiple instances to run your queue works, basically.
This is all your queued jobs. All right, so let's make this a medium instance.
I think this was the moment that literally I was almost puking on the back, like on the backstage. So something that happened here is that Taylor was pressing save, but the save button was not working. Just check this out, all right? Check this out.
We'll do, let's say, between 3 and 5 replicas, and it will auto-scale these.
So to explain you the context, Taylor was basically clicking on this add worker cluster, okay, to try to add a new instance to this environment, okay? This displays a modal, but Taylor literally forgot to put a name on the queue worker right there on the top. You see that? But because the modal is so big and the screen is so small, he went all the way down, he was clicking on save, and he didn't saw the error message, okay? Watch this.
Replicas based on how much CPU and RAM our machines are using. And of course, we want to add a background process, and we'll put, let's say, 3 queue work processes on each replica.
There we go. So on this moment, he literally forgot to name the worker on top, you know? He forgot to name the worker on the top of the form. So we went all the way down. He went click on save.
Then all we need to do is hit save and deploy.
Bam. And suddenly, when this happens, like there is literally the loading on top and nothing happens, everyone's reaction was like, what's happening? You know, like, what the heck is happening right now?
Did I hit it? Oh no.
So at this specific moment, we're like, I remember watching the faces of the team on the backstage. So I look at the Joe Dixon, Jason Bax, everyone, and we were looking at each other like, oh, like fuck, something happened right now on stage. You know what I mean? We're like literally, my face was like literally like this. You know, something happened on stage, probably like a 500 on the back end, anything, you know what I mean? My mind crossed a bazillion of different things on the planet. The only thing I could think of was like, Taylor just hit a 500 on the back end and it's literally not working. We have a problem here, you know what I mean? And when we saw this...
Oh, I didn't name it. So you give each worker...
So when we saw this validation error, I was like, oh my God. It was like God literally saving my life right now. From the worst demo in the planet to the best demo in the world because of this validation error. It was so good. But yeah, indeed, like, because we have these validation errors so close to the input, and because this model is questionable, kind of big, Taylor couldn't see the error message.
Name, I'll just call this one queues. You can have multiple worker clusters, as many as you want. So giving them a name kind of helps you differentiate what you're different.
He's probably, you know, catching his breath right now when he saw the validation error.
Worker clusters are doing. All right,
there we go.
So there's that new cluster, and that's going to start rolling out. Again, with zero downtime, and now we're going to have work.
That was so fun. Yeah, those seconds felt like years to me. Oh my God. So Victor is just saying something really interesting, which is maybe focus the input with the error is the solution. So what we are doing now, we just literally did that, is when you have an error in your form, we focus the, you know, the UI on the input that have errored out, basically. So which is an accessibility thing. So basically, if you click on save, and you are missing like the name, which is on the top of the form, we focus immediately, you know, the user on the input that they have errored out. You know what I mean? Bart is asking how you do that with the anchor tag. Not really. So basically, you do that using refs in React. Using refs to keep track of the inputs you are using, and then you just call a ref current focus basically to focus on that given input. Exactly. Paulo is asking, is it possible to show the error message without waiting for the request? Possibly, you know, some JavaScript validation, you mean? We do have that in the most of places, but yeah. But yeah, undeniably, also like this screen was like super small because it's basically a presentation screen, so it doesn't reflect at any means a real monitor, but yeah, probably something to improve there for sure.
Running on our app cluster and on our dedicated worker cluster. So we should have quite a few queue workers running now. All right, so while this is deploying, let's look at one more tab we haven't seen yet, which is metrics. And everything should be running. Let's go to visit, dashboard, queue. I should be able to make some more transactions. All right, that looks good. Now, what if we want to try?
Yeah, someone was just asking what happens if you have a new branch and you are pushing the branch. So Taylor is about to demo what exactly happens when that happens.
Check out this new feature.
Check this out. So you basically just push a new branch.
Laravel Cloud. So our teammates can play with it. We can see if it works really great before we ship it to production. How can we do that? It's super easy. So each application can have as many environments as you want. And each environment is totally separate from the others in terms of infrastructure and compute. So let's create a new environment. I just pick my branch.
So as you can see, the branch just becomes available automatically, you know? So we have GitHub hooks, which inform Laravel Cloud of these new branches, basically. But yeah, resolutions problems are indeed the hardest in presentations. Flow is saying the interesting solution could be potentially an arrow up showing where to scroll. Yeah, we actually have put in place now that focus on the first error. That works good, actually. So we're chilling on that. Philippe, which works at Laravel as well, is saying, just popping by to say, go Cloud team. Thank you, Philippe. Oh, something really cool on this conference as well is that each product at Laravel had its own booth. So basically we had like the Forge booth, but also like the Nightwatch booth, but also like the Cloud booth. And I only had, so basically like a bunch of team members had, you know, to be there like for 2 hours to, you know, answer to people questions. I had only 20 minutes and I managed to arrive late. It's crazy. Like most of my team members had like 2 hours booth. Some of them had to be there like for 2 times already. And for me, it's only 20 minutes and I managed to get to be there late. It's crazy. I'm such a irresponsible guy. I can also not wait for the new starter kits, to be honest. Flow is asking, outside of Laravel Cloud, what was your favorite thing you saw at Laracon? I don't know, man. I'm excited to see the you know, the EOS development with PHP. So I want to see that. I haven't checked too much yet. You know, I've seen like some highlights of the presentation of Simon, but I want to see that on my own laptop. Probably here on stream, I don't know, but I want to see that as well. Fusion, I think it's pretty cool. I love Aaron Francis, and I think Fusion looks promising. So probably Laravel Cloud, Nightwatch, of course, Fusion, EOS, or you know, native PHP with for mobile development using PHP. I have Sebastian PHP Unit 12 presentation to watch as well. So I haven't watched that talk yet, so I want to do that as well. But yeah, we have a bunch of stuff lined up for the next stream. So let's see how it goes, okay? Spoon is asking if there is integration with Bitbucket. Yes, there is integration with Bitbucket and GitLab. I don't think we plan to ship dark mode for GA, but let's see how it goes. I don't know.
New feature, it's already been live synced into Cloud. I can give it a name and a color, but I'll just go ahead and hit create environment. And here we are with a brand new infrastructure canvas. And I'm just going to hit deploy to get this branch. And let's put a, so Laravel Cloud.
Someone was asking me like, what are the things that scare you sometimes when you are demoing Laravel Cloud? Domains is always something that scares me a little bit. It's so unpredictable in terms of how much time DNS records will take to propagate. That's something that always scares me. Because it's unpredictable, the amount of time the DNS records will be pointing to the new DNS records.
Cloud supports that, or it asks me if I want to redirect from www to the Apex domain. Both these defaults make sense for my app, so I'm just going to hit add domain. All right, and then it gives me a couple of DNS records that I need to go and add to my domain registrar. And this will actually bring our custom domain up live.
You see, he basically having this custom domain. Is this app still live? Let me check that. Laravel-cloud-demo.com. Not live anymore. All right, Taylor deleted it.
On Cloud.
But yeah, basically Taylor came here, added this domain to his app, and this will take a while. And it can take like 10 minutes or 1 minute. You don't really know. That's something that scares me always.
I've actually already added these IP addresses to my DNS, so they should be verifying relatively quickly. While that's verifying, I'll go into the org.
By the way, if you just arrived, my name is Nuno Maduro. I'm a PHP and Laravel developer. And today we are watching this talk from Taylor Otwell about Laravel Cloud. And, you know, just reviewing a little bit what has been shown to the community regarding Laravel Cloud. And I'm part of the team who is developing Laravel Cloud, and excited to see, you know, the reactions of the community, but also my own reaction on this stuff, because I haven't actually been on the front to see this talk. I was on the backstage when that happened. So if you enjoy my content, give me a like, subscribe my channel on YouTube, but also follow me here on Twitch.
And show you a couple settings. So of course we can have our general settings, but you can also add members to your organization, and we'll talk more about how many members you can have soon. But you can collaborate on Cloud really easily. We want your whole team to be able to use Cloud, to be able to see your infrastructure, to be able to review your deployments, and to be able to create environments. All right, and just how we saw it was super easy to create new environments, you can imagine what we could do with this in the near future. Already on our road.
Dan is asking, if you create the feature branch, why do you have to create all the env resources, DB, caching, storage? So basically because sometimes you may not want to use your production database in your own feature branch, you know what I mean? Typically, for example, what I would do myself is have my production database isolated from any other environment, and probably have another database where I would have multiple DB instances for each one of those feature branches, you know what I mean? So you have full control on that. Agent is saying that Taylor added the D domains up front, so no DNS propagation problems. Oh, really? Okay.
Map, and I'm sure you're already thinking.
You don't work at Laravel, but you know more than me. That's crazy, dude.
About it. The ability to have automatic preview deployments is something we can't wait to explore later this year. All right, so I'm going to go back to my main environment. It looks like my domain is already verified. You can see we've got laravelclouddemo.com, and we're actually live with a custom domain to ship on myself.
Yeah, that was a good presentation. I think Taylor really performed well on stage, and I was happy about the outcome of this presentation, by the way.
All those years ago. We have an incredible backend stack with the framework. We have an incredible front-end stack with Livewire and Inertia. And I can't wait to get it in your hands. There's going to be more work to do. This is just the beginning for a new era of Laravel, for Laravel Cloud, for Laravel Nightwatch. We're going to iterate. We must ship. And that goes for all of us. This year, we're embarking on a new journey together. And 2025 will be a historic year for PHP. It'll be a historic year for Laravel. And I hope it'll be a historic year for you. And I challenge you to create something, to create anything, just to dream big. And we want to give you the tools to ship it. You can ship a package, you can ship a video, you can ship a blog post. It doesn't have to be big. I think the most popular function in Laravel has to be the DD function. It gets used more than any other function, and it's tiny. But it's try to ship something. What can you ship this year? I believe that giving people the most powerful and productive web framework is an incredible privilege, right? Enabling someone to create web applications quickly and to ship them to the production, to ship them to their friends, to ship them to their customers is life-changing in many ways. The ability to create something out of nothing, seemingly, out of your own mind and ship it to production. It's incredibly inspiring to me, and Laravel Cloud and where we're going with Laravel, I feel like, is the culmination of that vision that I've had for Laravel for so many years. And, you know, I want to tell you a quick story from Laracon US before I wrap. After I first unveiled Laravel Cloud, I was kind of in the crowd mingling, and this guy comes up to me with a journal, and, you know, he has a pen, and he's like, hey, I want you to write me a message. And I'm like, okay, this is a little awkward, you know, but I'll just roll with it. And he says, I was recently laid off. And, you know, what would you write to someone that was recently laid off? And my mind was just like blank for a second, right? It's like a deer in headlights. Well, then I took his journey or his journal and I wrote, "I believe in you," in the journal. And that's really the message I want to leave with all of you as we ship this new platform is, I believe in you and I believe in us as a community to build really amazing things. And we've been working super hard on making that possible for you.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that was so good. Oh my God. It's kind of crazy that this guy, after 10 years, still inspires me every day. Come on, chat, let's clap to this dude right now, because this is absolutely awesome. Oh my God, Jesus, that's crazy. Woof, that was a good one. I almost choked up right there, Jesus. Oh yeah, that was a good one. This is something I've been telling you guys, which is sometimes a bunch of us get stuck on the small details, get stuck on the betweens, and we don't actually ship things. So that's something, you know, something that I would take from this message, but also from personal learnings, is that when you have an idea, just ship it as a POC and get it as fast as possible out there. Because I feel like some of the people I know, they spend so much time like on the betweens, on the small details, on the things that don't really matter, and they don't get anything out because of that, because they call themselves, I'm like a perfectionists or whatever, you know. They just spend too much time thinking and less time actually getting the tool out there. So when you have an idea, either that be a package or an application or an article or whatever, just get yourself on this shipping mood, which is, I want to get this idea out in 2 days or in 1 day. And it must be done over the weekend, you know, and start to grind towards that goal of getting that tool out the fastest as possible. Because again, what happens with so many people out there is that they overthink things, basically, and that's the reason why they don't get anything out, basically. So I feel like during this 2025, with Laravel being as stable as it is, with Laravel Cloud, which can get your app out in 40 seconds, which is mind-blowing, with all these starter kits we are going to have in our ecosystem, using Inertia or Livewire, doesn't really matter, there is absolutely no reason of not getting stuff out, okay? So a challenge that I'm gonna make for you is the same one as Taylor did, which is just set a goal for yourself of getting something done like this month or next month. Just get something out real fast. And I can promise you that if you just set a goal for yourself to literally ship the app on this time frame, you will get it out. All right, you just get yourself in the mood and you will do it. And I'm going to help you out with that. All right, if you have like potentially, you know, a package that you have made, an article or a product, and you want to kind of help to spread the word, let me know and I will help you out. By the way, we have a Discord channel which you can use to also spread the word if you want to. Is this one right here. We have a bunch of us on this Discord channel already. And you can join this Discord channel if you want to. And when you get yourself on this thing of building stuff and you are afraid of not getting it out, go there and ask for help, okay? Pick and Flow is saying, but what if I'm too embarrassed to release code to the world? Dude, you don't have to be embarrassed. Like literally everyone is embarrassed about that. I remember very well when I was doing my first open source thing, I thought it had to be like perfect and whatever. It took me like a year to get something out. So that's perfectly normal. Just get it out, dude. Just publish it. That's it. Ship it, you know? But that was a good speech from Taylor. Taylor is awesome, man. I love him. He's awesome. He is a very good leader, you know? I feel like Taylor over the years, he actually transcended himself to this person who was like, Taylor always have been a good coder, you know what I mean? He's always have been a good coder, and you know, a very smart person. You know what I mean? Not only on code, but also, you know, on the product itself. He's very smart. He's very, you know, he can understand what people want, which is awesome. But over the last 3 years, 2 years, he actually transcended himself a little bit from being this cool founder to this very good leadership, this very good leader, you know what I mean? So every time I see Taylor like speaking, you can literally feel that he's a very good leader. You know, you can really trust on his words, which is awesome. All right, that was awesome. And I think he's also announcing that Laracon US will be
And you want
launched.
to go to more Laracons, we actually have a date for Laracon US. We have a city for Laracon US.
It's Denver, yeah?
On July 29th and 30th, we'll be in Denver, Colorado. You can go to laracon.us right now, which is running live on Laravel Cloud.
All right, that was awesome. There is one last thing I want to show you today. So we have a bunch of topics for the next live streams. Obviously Fusion, but also the EOS stuff from Simon. But I also have this State of PHP 2024, which came out 5 days ago, which explores some of the topics I want to discuss with you guys, like you know, PHP versions currently active, what are the most popular PHP frameworks, most popular testing frameworks. So all of that stuff we are going to discover in another live stream. And there is one last thing I want to show you, which is my appearance on stage. Oh my God, here we go.
So, and back again to Laravel Cloud. What was, yeah, so you don't discover Laravel.
Here we go, here we go.
Thank you for that. So,
not a lot of people know, but I actually have went to university with this guy, Kaneko. He's awesome. Yeah, good leaders are rare. I agree with you, dude. Are you from Denver? Nice, man. I'm going to meet you there.
I'm going to call the last one, if it's possible.
Yeah, so let me explain you this. Kaneko called me 4 days before this situation, or 5 days before this situation, and he told me that he wanted to do some sort of late night show with 4 guests. So the first one was Taylor, of course. Second one, Jess. Third one, Hank, which works at Laravel as well. And I was the last one. Okay.
I'd like to call. Who could be? Nuno. Can Nuno join us? Yeah, so you don't discover Laravel, thanks to me. No, but we actually went to university together.
That's right.
It was a really fun moment. So, again, I'm going to do the same question as I did to Jess. Can you give us a quick update on your current job position?
Yeah,
what you've been doing?
absolutely. So, yeah, for those who don't know me, my name is Nuno Maduro, and I've been working for Laravel for more than 40 years now, first on Vapor in open source. Now I'm fully working on the Laravel Cloud team.
Oh my God.
So I'm developer.
It feels really weird to watch myself. I don't want to lie to you, you know, just hear my voice really feels weird. You know what I mean? Does this happen to you as well? Like when you guys are watching yourselves, just feels weird? Oh my God. That's normal? All right. When I'm watching myself, I cannot hear myself. It's really weird, you know what I mean? I think this is the first time I'm reacting to something I have done, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a talk, but Adrian is saying it's 100% strange to hear your real voice. Really? Is that different? What do you mean? Yasin is saying, I thought you were going to say the stream intro. Not really. Nicholas is saying, you sound like Guillermo to me. Oh, really? Well, that's a compliment, I think, right? Oh, what is self-monitoring while streaming, by the way?
Doing Laravel Cloud stuff. That's how I've been doing.
So, got a tricky question for you.
Go ahead.
So, after being the terminal guru, because you are...
Dude, when Kaneko said to Taylor that we have been in university together, the only thing I could think about was what happens if Kaneko will show like a picture of us like drunk on stage, you know what I mean? Because I'm obviously have a few beers with Kaneko in the past, so maybe this guy have like a picture of me like totally drunk when I was like 18. Jesus Christ. Thank God he didn't do anything like that.
Terminal. Then you created a social network, Pinkery.
Yeah.
Now you're becoming a streamer.
Yeah.
How's that been? How's that going? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, so I have this problem where, like, every time I put myself into something, I go like a 400%. So I don't know how to slow down a little bit. And yeah, being a streamer, having fun is kind of something that I didn't know that I liked that much. You know, feels like a second job a little bit, to be honest, because after work I have to literally turn off my camera. Feels also good to see like PHP on the top of, you know, the category of software in Twitch, kind of smoking those JavaScript developers. That feels good. And yeah, it's something that I have to do, you know, like the PHP folks and community need to realize that we need to appeal as well to this younger generation, which just having a fancy website doesn't work anymore. So you kind of have to do also streams, content, and I'm enjoying it, yeah. I love to do that for PHP and Laravel, yeah.
You have a lot of viewers so far.
So something really cool is that like I think it was in Laracon, India, where I think someone asked me like, do you have kids or something like that? Or oh no, the question was, what do you think your kids will be doing in the future? And my answer was, I think they will be doing fine, probably, you know, some web development. If they don't do JavaScript, it's probably fine or something like that. I always like to make jokes about JavaScript when I'm on stage. But yeah, what I was saying that is like literally true. I don't know if it's, you know, something that a lot of people have, but I indeed have this situation on my mind, which is when I'm doing something, no matter what it is, I feel like in my own head, I always need to go at 400%. For example, if I'm resting, I need to rest very well, you know. If I am streaming, that's the only thing I can think about. If I'm working super hard on its package, that's the only thing I can think about. So basically, I almost can have only one thing on my mind, and I need to go at 400% on that thing all the time. So if I'm like doing gym, for example, that's the only thing I can do and think about during months. That's why I lose so many weight back in the days. But yeah, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but yeah.
Do you have any idea or can you share your current numbers of?
Yeah, so I have around between 100 and 150 just on Twitch. The same thing goes to YouTube, unclear on X, but I also have a few people on TikTok. So it's around 250 concurrent viewers, basically.
Yeah, this depends though. Like if I'm coding, I will have a bunch of people because you guys like to see code, right? That's my overall feeling is that when I'm twitching about code, basically, I feel like my numbers are much more higher than when I'm reacting to videos. On the other hand, when I'm coding, the energy that I need to spend on live stream is much higher as well. You know what I mean? So yeah. Adrian is saying, I found the kilos you lost. That's hilarious, dude.
Thanks for that, because if there's more platforms to share, even you stream a lot about Laravel and around PHP. So thanks for that. So I gotta ask, is Pest stale? Do you have any other features that you want to add on Pest?
Yeah, so I definitely plan to do Pest 4, which I want to introduce something which is still yet a secret. But
Yeah, I'm going to reveal to you what I'm thinking about for Pest 4, okay? So for Pest 4, I'm thinking, not really sure, but I'm thinking that I really want to solve the browser testing situation, okay? So I don't know what you guys feel about this, but today I feel like browser testing is broken, literally, you know? It never works, it's flaky, you know, it doesn't give you confidence like regular backend testing does. So I just wish we had something that is very well integrated with React, but also with inertia, and that it's not flaky, it's fast, you know what I mean? It's fast. I want something really fast. So what I need to think about is come up with a good DX level like Dusk does, okay? So you can create users using the factory in that deal. But at the same time, you can effectively do browser testing in the way that is fast, not flaky, and it really just works. You know what I mean? Adrian is saying Dusk, but fast. So here's the thing. I don't think Dusk is good. Okay, I'm going to just say to you, I don't think Dusk is good. All right? I think Dusk was good 10 years ago. I don't think Dusk is good anymore. Like, so people are mentioning here Playwright. Let's see what this is. So is Playwright like Cypress, for example? My voice is so bad. Interesting. All right. People are saying that Playwright is 10 times better. Okay. Because Cypress was already decent, you know? I feel like what Dusk is using behind the scenes is bad, which I can't remember the name. You guys remember the name of what Laravel Dusk is using behind the scenes? I literally forgot the name. Whatever that is, it was good 10 years ago. I don't think it's good anymore, okay? It's super flaky, it's slow, never works, yuck, okay? So I want to solve that problem and solve it in the way that feels like Pest, you know what I mean? Duka-chan is asking, can you explain a little bit what Cypress and Dusk do? Absolutely. So I'm going to show you here Laravel Dusk, okay? So if we go to Laravel Dusk and we go to this, let me try to show you something really that really explains everything in one single test. Maybe the introduction have a section like that? Oh my God, it doesn't. Okay, wait a second. All right, so I feel like this probably will explain you what Dusk and Cypress are about, okay? So typically when using something like Past PHP or PHP unit in Laravel, what you do is effectively you post something and then you see if that resource was created on the backend, okay? However, if you are posting through the HTTP layer and then asserting that the things exist on the database, you are neglecting pretty much all the browser testing layer, you know what I mean? All the browser situation, because acting as a regular user in your application, the user doesn't go there and says post, you know what I mean? He effectively clicks on buttons to invoke that action behind the scenes. So what Cypress does is that it's kind of your backend testing plus this browser testing situation where you effectively go to the browser and you say, okay, visit this homepage wait for the form to appear, and then type this message on the input and press the send button. And then you can wait for the response and see that you got redirected, or you see that you got the correct message on the browser, okay? Effectively, to test these newish front ends like React and Vue, it's kind of a pain in the ass today, you know what I mean? And I feel like the browser testing situation on the PHP ecosystem kind of sucks today, if I'm honest with you, you know what I mean? And I want to fix that because I need that myself. You know, I need something that really works, that is really cool. And maybe, I don't know what you guys think, let me know what you think, but I think something like that for Pest 4 would be really good, you know what I mean? Like really having a good story for browser testing that just works super fast and all that stuff, you know what I mean? What do you guys think about this? Okay, seems that a bunch of you have the same feeling. Loki is saying, I think Aaron Francis is working on something browser testing for his solo project. I think you're confusing with snapshot testing, which is something that you would do at console level. You think it's a good idea, Adrian? Maybe it's something that we can do together, you know, on stream. We could literally code this situation all together, you know? So a bunch of you mentioned Playwright. Let's go here again and see Playwright. This is the one? What is the API for this? Yeah, so the API is kind of similar to Dusk. And my real question is the engine behind this flaky? Do you think the engine is fast enough for something that we put our expectations to? So I feel like we are going to test this a little bit locally to see how it goes. But I mean, it has everything I would expect, like clicks and, you know, go to the link, blah, blah, blah. I can focus on elements. I can press on elements. Does any of you is using this already, like in your own project? And if yes, do you think it's fast enough? It's something that you actually like? Thank you, Ducatan. Oh, okay. Camus is saying that I use that at work. In our tests are very flaky. All right, that's not a good thing. So Dick is asking if we have tests. Yeah, we have a lot of tests at Laravel. We have a bazillion actually. So really hotfix is saying it's faster than Cypress. All right, that's a good thing. Bruno is saying that Playwright is faster than Dusk. Well, it's not difficult, so. Pixels TV is saying that Playwright is good, but in my opinion, on big apps is too slow. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have a bunch of those browser tests either, right? But I feel you. It has to play well with parallel testing as well, you know what I mean? Like, it does have to play well with parallel testing. This is something I have to solve, which is kind of serving multiple instances of the same app using different databases, so it plays well with parallel testing on Pest. You know what I mean? That probably would be a big win.
I'm planning to, this summer, bring Pest 4 with some nice goodies for you all. Yeah, I love Pest. Pest is being, you know.
So I've also planned to bring parallel support to type coverage. Type coverage is awesome, but it's super slow. It's actually the slowest build we have on Laravel Cloud. I want to fix that as well.
An amazing open source project. I'm happy with it, and I definitely plan to bring Pest 4 this summer.
This summer, okay. So, and back again to Laravel Cloud. What was your biggest challenge for you?
So, you know, starting a project from scratch is actually, it was a boost of energy for me. You know, I've been working with Vapor, open source, and doing something from scratch is definitely a boost of energy. The challenge is that I actually have a design of working on cloud. You know, I have front-end developers. I have all this talent working with me, and the challenge is literally try to feed these people with amazing work, and also lead to the expectations of Taylor, of course. He wants to build like an amazing software, so I have to keep up with that, and you know, just do my best to deliver, you know, a great platform.
Great job. So that will be all. I won't bother you.
So we actually had the game planned for this session, but I think Kaneko went out of time, basically.
Any more? I hope that you enjoyed. Or
I enjoyed. Thank you, Kaneko. That was awesome. But yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it today. What else do I want to say? Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with some more content. Thank you so much for being on that side. That was an awesome live stream. I hope you guys appreciate it. Tomorrow, let's see if I'm bringing some code or speaking about this situation right here. I haven't yet read this full article except expressing my own opinions on the past chart right here. But I want to kind of talk with you about this situation right here. So we're probably bringing this in some more code tomorrow. Let's see how it goes, all right? Thank you so much for being here. And have you checked my new hoodie? It's a nice hoodie, huh? This is a new one from Laravel. A nice one. All right, guys. That was awesome live stream. Let's see if we can rate someone as usual. I'm going to go here into my software and game development section and see if we can find someone to rate. Do we have anyone doing PHP today? Miss you too, Francisco. Thank you so much for being there. Adrian, thank you so much for being always here, man. I'm always happy to be back as well. Camus is saying, you will continue to code the analytics app tomorrow. I don't think so. I don't know, man. Maybe in the future. I kind of forget almost already about that app. Let's see how it goes, all right? Ooh. Who are we rating today? So if you don't know, if you're watching me from another platforms, basically something we always do is rate people after my stream. Rate means basically sending all my Twitch audience to a different channel. Adrian is saying, I want to see next year a bunch of you Portuguese guys at Laracon EU. I will be there for sure again. Showbox is saying, maybe you see me in Denver. I hope you see you there. I will be there. All right. I have no idea who I will rate today. Jesus Christ. Okay, I see someone here building a Game Boy Color with CSS. So if any of you is into CSS, I think this might be a good content to follow. Let's see how it goes, all right? Okay, guys. That's it on my side. I'm gonna rest a little bit and catch you guys tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much for being on that side and for supporting my work. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.